I've collected every single banned episode of South Park and now have my dirty mitts on some of the most reviled yet hilarious animation in cartoon history. What could go wrong? Well, this could.
I learned something today.
Kicking things off, we're looking at the Cartoon Wars two-parter. Yep, we're starting things off with a bang! Told you, things start off calm enough.
Son!
What?
Get up! Get your shoes on! Gotta get out of here! Move!
The entire town of South Park is going into crisis mode and flooding into the community center, where it's revealed that the panic is all over a cartoon that's going to show an image of Muhammad on TV.
Cartoon that's always pushing buttons with their careless toilet humor. Family Guy!
We should have known it'd be Family Guy. While you may think it's silly for people to get so upset over a cartoon, apparently American flags are being burnt en masse in the Middle East in response to the cartoon. And even crazier than that, the Family Guy Nation? Is that the USA, or is there an actual separate place? Anyway, thankfully, it seems as if it's all blown over, as the next morning, the town finds out Fox censored the image before the nation came under attack. So how rough was this anti-Islamic joke? Well,
Come on, Muhammad, let's get some tea.
Try my Mr. T.
Oh boy, was that ever weird. Anyway, I can't believe I invited my old sweetheart to dinner, huh?
blasphemous! Okay, well, not actually, though Cartman thinks so, saying that the joke is mocking an entire religion.
Seriously? That is not cool. You guys, they just made fun of the religion of an entire group of people.
That's real rich, coming from the soiled mouth of Cartman. Kyle's parents also have issues with the show, though, as when they find out he's been watching it, they take action, quickly.
Ah! It's Family Guy! Quick, Gerald, do something!
If even Gerald is going mental over this, we've got a problem. For their crimes against decency, the kids are taught Muslim sensitivity training by Miss Garrison, which goes as smoothly as anything that's taught at South Park Elementary.
Now put yourself in the shoes of a Muslim. It's Friday night, but you can't have, and you can't. There's sand in your eyes and probably in the crack. And then some cartoon comes along from a country where people are getting laid and mocks your profit.
Yeah, as smooth as the sand in their cracks. An emergency assembly is called where the news says that,
We have just learned that the Family Guy episode featuring Muhammad was only part 1.
and if you think that's bad,
Retaliation? Oh my god.
how can anyone take Mr. Mackey seriously, I swear? Cartman decides to head off to LA to protect the Muslim people from the joke, but when Kyle questions him, Cartman does the unthinkable.
10 people because Family Guy just had to have their little joke. Will you still think it's funny? What if 100 people? Will it be funny then, Kyle?
I mean, he makes a good point. After a horrifying dream, Kyle officially sides with Cartman on the matter and decides to head with him to LA to get the Family Guy episode pulled. A literal 1,000-mile trip on tricycles? Dude, count me out. The townsfolk of South Park have another meeting where an expert comes up and tells the town that to avoid blame for what Family Guy does, they'll have to literally bury their heads in sand. Butter's dad objects, though, with a fantastic point.
If we aren't willing to risk what we have, then we just believe in free speech, but we don't defend it.
Yeah, actually, let's just go with the sand. It's much simpler and easier. Cartman and Kyle are on their way to LA, but it seems Cartman's motives are a bit murkier than Kyle first thought, as Cartman says that he can't wait to take Family Guy off the air forever. Kyle's confused, even saying that he thought Cartman might like Family Guy, which goes over well, I'd say.
Don't you ever compare me to Family Guy. Compare me to Family Guy again, and so help me, I will where you stand.
Wasn't Eric just preaching how not even one person should be over a joke, and now he's threatening to Kyle himself? Yeah, turns out Cartman's just tired of people recommending the show to him. Get over it, dude. It's gonna happen the rest of your life. And so, with Cartman's real motives revealed, it's a race between him and Kyle to LA. Alright, that cop kind of deserved to crash if that's all it takes for them. Cartman plays dirty, though, and leaves Kyle stranded in the desert.
So long, Kyle. You son of a...
Leaving the episode off on the biggest cliffhanger of them all.
Tune in to see part 2 of Family Guy next week on South Park.
But for us, we're actually going to get our answer right now. Cartman finally makes it to the Fox network station, but it looks like someone else got there first.
Dude, can I go before you?
Eat my shorts.
Kyle, on the other hand, is still lost in the desert, but comes to find a gas station that's buried its head in the sand, as the panic over the Family Guy episode has only escalated. Cartman tells Bart of his plan and says that if even one episode of a show gets pulled, eventually the onslaught of more cancellation cries will eventually cause the series to be shut down.
So my plan is to use this whole Muhammad thing as a way to scare the network into pulling tonight's show. I'm going to use fear to get them to do what I want.
Isn't that like...
No, it isn't like... It is.
So Cartman's just straight up admitting to being a... Yeah, that sounds in character. This probably isn't even in the top 10 worst things he said. Anyway, Bart tries to convince Cartman to let him do the thing until Cartman reads off his own qualifications.
That's like this one time when I didn't like a kid, so I ground his parents up into chili and fed it to him.
I wouldn't skate. I'd run! Meanwhile, it looks like even the president can't stop the show from being broadcast, as something called the First Amendment is protecting them. What is this First Amendment exactly, though?
You know, right to free speech.
Dang that pesky Constitution! Cartman's here to save the day, though, as he's finally allowed to talk to the Fox execs. And of course will only rely on a sound argument and nothing else to convey his point.
Hello, gentlemen, ladies. My name is Little Danny Pocket. Please excuse my tiny crutch. It's the only way I can get around these days.
Cartman manages to get a meeting with the Family Guy writing staff, while Kyle makes his way over to Fox Studios thanks to a fellow Family Guy viewer.
I know it's just joke after joke, but I like that. At least it doesn't get all preachy and up its own with messages, you know?
Overly preachy and too filled with messages? Whoever could they be talking about? Yeah, so Kyle meets Bart and tells him that he needs to stop his fat friend from taking Family Guy off the air. Bart helpfully leads Kyle to the executive's office that just so happens to look awfully shady, and...
This can't be right. Cowabunga.
Why doesn't the real Bart say that in The Simpsons? That totally makes his catchphrase cooler. Meanwhile, Cartman finally meets...
The Family Guy writing staff.
Ah, the wonders of marine biology. Oh, what, you're confused how the manatees write the show? Well, they take the idea balls, bring them to the other side of the tank, and then boom! You've got Family Guy material.
Remember the time I won a date to Mexico with Gary Coleman?
¿Qué pasa, señores? What you talking about, Willis?
That joke really did feel like it was written by a sea cow. Apparently, if even one idea ball is taken from the manatee's tank, they won't work. And so when the Muhammad ball was taken out of the tank, they went on strike. Oh, and also...
They're the only mammals that are completely unmoved by threats.
Cartman meets up with Bart and finds Kyle trapped, where he reveals his plan to sneak back into the studio while the writers are on break.
If you'll excuse me, Kyle, I've got some idea balls to remove from a manatee tank.
What?
Why is Kyle so confused? It made complete sense to me. When the studio executives find the manatees motionless, Cartman convinces him they're just trying to take over the network. And so to reassert his authority, the executive decides to pull the Family Guy episode. Naturally, Cartman remains humble.
I am God! Family Guy is going off the air. No more Family Guy for me, mon frere. Cartman!
Kyle managed to convince Bart to free him and knows that there's still time for him to convince the network to air the episode. But with Cartman there to stop him, there's only one way for this to end.
Let this be our final battle. Ow! Stop it! Kyle, that's too hard!
Kyle wins the epic battle and dashes over to the executive's office right before they make the nuclear option to pull the episode, and is finally able to give his side of the argument.
Pulling an episode because somebody is offended starts a chain reaction. You'll have to pull more and more episodes until the show goes off the air completely.
Cartman butts in and tries to convince the executive, but he's still conflicted.
Okay, I'll make it easy for you. Pull the Muhammad episode, now!
Okay, I'll listen to you.
He's right. That did make it easy. Kyle tells the man that if he gives in to Cartman's demands, he's allowing to work, and says even if he decides to simply censor the episode, he's giving in. It's either all okay or none of it is. And so the decision is made.
Family Guy goes on air as planned.
Yes!
No! No, I hate Family Guy!
Wait a minute, would Cartman have just the guy if that thing had ammo? Wow, that's cold. The Muhammad scene finally arrives, and as promised, Fox allowed it to air uncensored.
Coming, Muhammad.
Unfortunately, South Park airs on Comedy Central, so they couldn't show the uncensored broadcast, negating the point of the episode. Lame. What's even lamer is the response to the episode.
Hello, I am American. I am American too. We like to crap on each other.
Hello, I'm the President Bush. I will crap on both of you. Oh, we love to crap. Look at me, I'm Jesus. Who would you like me to crap on you, Mr. Bush? Yummy, yummy crap.
دخول هذه المجالس العلمانية.
Man, such crude potty humor and awful animation. Who could have made this crap? The lamest thing of all, though, is the fact that these episodes were banned for simply mentioning Muhammad. You can't even find these on streaming anymore. Like, the irony! Though, if you think manatees are the only ones that cause chaos, you'd be sorely mistaken. Closets can, too.
I'm starting to get angry, so I pull out my gun.
In Trapped in the Closet, all the boys want to go have fun. But
No, I don't want to spend any money, you guys. Let's just do something fun that's free.
Stan, don't you know the first law of physics? Anything that's fun costs at least $8.
poor Stan. I relate to the guy. After his friends ditch him, Stan starts to walk home, but is asked if he'd like to take a free personality test run by the Church of Scientology. But when he starts to ask questions on if the whole thing is a religion, the vibe gets weird.
Scientology is more of an alternative to psychology than a religion.
Then how come that sign says Church of Scientology?
Oh, that's just his thing. What's the Denver Broncos record now? 6-2?
That guy is dodging these questions like Neo in the Matrix, dude. He gets to the end of the test and reveals to Stan that he's totally messed up in his head, but knows that Scientology can help him.
Well, there's certainly no question that you are a perfect candidate for Scientology.
What do I do?
We just need $240.
Well, I mean, I've never heard of a personality test that lies. So I guess he's gotta pay up. Stan's family is shocked to hear of his depression.
But I'm completely miserable and these people can help.
Stanley, I didn't know you were miserable.
Neither did I!
Even Stan is shocked. That should be a red flag about that test, kid. Stan wants his dad to help pay for the church, but he refuses, saying Stan will need to pay out of the pockets of his own savings, leaving him an ultimatum.
You want a bike, or do you want to not be depressed?
Michelle, our friend Stan wants to have auditing.
Honestly, when he puts it like that, it's kind of hard to refuse. Stan pays up and gets a tour of the church, where he learns about its founder, L. Ron Hubbard, and the power of the E-meter. Stan gets his hands on the E-meter and has his threaten levels tested, which he reads abnormally high, as high as only one had reached before.
L. Ron Hubbard said he had lived past lives, that when he his Thetan would show itself again. Our prophet has returned.
Well, now we know where George Lucas got his idea for midi-chlorians. Stan's the Anakin Skywalker of Scientology, make it that what you will. A massive crowd then arrives at the Marsh residence, where the church asks for Stan to lead their religion, and even has a few celebrity guests to sweeten that deal.
Oh my God, it's John Travolta.
Is this where he lives? Is this where L. Ron Hubbard is? Oh my God!
I mean, how could you deny a man with a voice as soothing as that? Though things don't end with John Travolta, as Tom Cruise snuck his way into Stan's room to speak with the prophet of his religion. Guess all that Mission Impossible stuff paid off, huh?
You're not like as good as Leonardo DiCaprio, but you're okay, I guess.
What? Now that's cold. I mean, maybe not wrong, but definitely cold. So cold that Tom's got to get out of there.
I'm a failure in the eyes of the prophet! Ah!
Hey!
But unfortunately for Mr. Cruise, the insults are only getting started.
Dad! Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet!
Yep, take that exactly as you heard it. Nobody has the answers on why Tom Cruise just won't come out of the closet, but luckily, R. Kelly might be able to shine some light on this situation.
But nobody has no answers, and so I pull out my gun!
Nope, no, definitely didn't shine any light at all. Why did we think that would get us anywhere? Meanwhile, Stan's explained that the church needs to take care of him and is offered the lowdown on the church's secret message.
Stan, do you want to hear the great secret doctrine of life behind Scientology?
Sure.
All right, go ahead and tell him.
And so Stan explained the history of life according to Scientology. Long ago, there was an alien leader named Xenu who gathered aliens from all of his overpopulated planets, froze them, and threw them into the volcanoes of Hawaii. Their souls were freed, but Xenu caught them before they could return home and brainwashed them into believing a false history.
They attach themselves to all mankind, which still to this day causes all our fears, our confusions, and our problems.
And yeah, that is just legitimately what's revealed once you stay in the church long enough. It's a heavily guarded secret for a reason, folks. Stan starts writing more of the Scientology lore when his friends show up and express their concern over Stan's cultish behavior. However, Stan believes that if they can't accept his new beliefs, then they are no longer friends, and shoos them away.
Stan, I just want you to know that I still hate Kyle more than you.
At least Cartman's there to brighten Stan's day. Stan's writing eventually leads to some butting heads, though, after a controversial new decree.
I realize that to really be a church, we can't charge people for help.
What are you, stupid? Then how do we make money from those people?
Oh boy, the writers just came out and said that, huh?
What's better than telling people a stupid story and having them believe you? having them pay you for it, stupid!
You know, I get it. Scientology is fishy and all, but wow, they're just bludgeoning it here. Though with $3 million on the line, Stan decides to finish his writings and present them to his followers. But when he sees the reality of what he's doing, Stan takes his stand.
I'm not the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard. Scientology is just a big fat global scam.
We are gonna sue you!
This one was taken off the air because of, big shocker, lawsuit threats from the Church of Scientology. Though years later, it's been taken out of the closet and put back on the TV. Unlike Tom Cruise. But okay, if that isn't controversial enough for you, I get it. You want something dirty. The episode Bloody Mary has got you covered. Hope that's raunchy enough for you. Randy takes the boys home from karate practice, though we quickly realize that wasn't the smartest idea in the world while he's in this state.
Oh, yeah? Get off my...
No, dude, it's the police.
Oh, crap.
Always look at who you're flipping off before you do it, kids. Randy does anything but pass the officer's sobriety test and ends up in police custody for the night. The next day at school, Randy shows up to tell the kids the dangers of drinking as part of his punishment, and Miss Garrison interjects with some helpful insight as well.
Well, I think we've all learned an important lesson, haven't we, class? If you don't make the right choices in life, you could end up being a big loser like Stan's dad.
I think I'd jump out the window if I was Stan. Another part of Randy's punishment involves him heading to AA meetings where he quickly understands that there are some odd rules to the 12-step program.
I never knew that Alcoholics Anonymous was a religious thing. You just have to admit that there is some kind of God which has power over you and turn your life over to that God and ask him for forgiveness.
It's not religion at all. I don't see any holy symbols, do you? The program tells Randy that alcoholism is a disease and that he is very sick, which ends up only further enabling him.
I thought I could just quit drinking on my own, but it's an illness, son. I have to admit that I'm powerless to this terrible disease.
Absolutely powerless. It's not like Randy could have just removed all the alcohol from his house or something. No, it's an illness, and Randy's going all in on that idea. I mean it.
Stan, I need your help.
Dad, what are you doing in Grandpa's extra wheelchair?
I've got to try to take it easy from now on, son.
All in. Randy knows he'll need a miracle to cure his disease, and luckily, he's got one.
The statue of the Virgin Mary has started to bleed out its...
Nobody ever said miracles had to be pretty. Stan heads over to the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting to give them a piece of his mind.
Young man, do you know anything about the 12-step program?
Yeah, and I also know a thing or two about cults. I was the leader of one for a while.
And I'm gonna be real, I did not expect them to reference his Scientology background ever again. But hey, band episodes gotta stick together, I guess. Oh, and by the way, in case you had any doubt that the whole blood thing was a miracle.
It's a miracle!
Because how couldn't that be a miracle, dude? Only an act of God would make blood spray with that velocity. Randy gets Stan to drive him over to the statue where, expectedly, there's a massive line of other people wanting their diseases to be cured.
Is this whole line people waiting to be cured?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with brain cancer 2 months ago.
I know exactly how you feel. I've got alcoholism.
Oh, come on, brain cancer's nothing. Randy's got alcoholism. That's the real deal. Randy cuts in line until a cop stops him, but when the cop hears about Randy's alcoholism, he pushes him to the front of the line. Randy finally stares old Bloody Mary in the face, and...
I'm not going to drink this. I'm not going to drink this!
What a touching moment. He truly is blessed. Randy makes it a full 5 days without a drink, but then gets some shocking news. The Pope has visited the statue and has declared it to be not a miracle. Apparently the Pope realized the blood wasn't coming from Mary's, but where you'd normally expect it to come from, and said,
A chick bleeding out her is no miracle. Chicks bleed out their all the time.
Of course, putting things in words that only those in touch with God could. Beautiful. Anywho, Randy goes off the wagon and buys himself tons of drinks after realizing there was no miracle. Stan rushes to tell Randy that he never needed a miracle, and him making it so long without a drink proves that. Going alcohol-free is too far for Randy, though, as he likes to drink a lot. But constantly drinking is just as rough.
All or nothing is easy, but learning to drink a little bit, responsibly, that's a discipline. Discipline come from within.
You know what? Couldn't have said it better myself. We all just need a little discipline. Just like the Catholic Church disciplined the networks after this episode came out, as it's been pulled from many reruns of the series since it aired. Though the boys go from saving Randy from religion to having to save themselves from a cult in Super Best Friends. Yep, that was Cartman trying to himself. Hope you're excited. David Blaine's come to South Park and is putting on a show that's more than wowing its spectators.
Go on, reach up
I don't feel nothing.
deeper.
I don't feel. Wait.
Was that the card you picked?
Sleight of hand is dangerous, man. How did Blaine even manage to get that in there without Jimbo knowing? The boys are convinced to head to David Blaine's school to learn some magic, but get a dose of Blaintology instead.
Let me ask you all something. Do you consider yourselves to be happy?
I don't think I'm very happy. I always fall asleep to the sound of my own screams.
Oh boy, here we go again. I thought we were done with cult stuff. Come on, man! The boys all have their heads shaved as a part of the initiation process, but obviously that leads to some confusion.
Kyle, I'm starting to think that this is a really bad idea.
I'm not Kyle. I'm Butters. I thought you were Kyle.
No, I'm Stan.
You're Stan? Where's Kenny?
Who are you?
I'm Kyle. Guess who I am, you guys?
Alright, at least I'm sure who one of them is. Stan tries to leave the Blaine camp, but is basically forced into staying until he decides to drag Kyle to the exit with him while the guards are sleeping.
Call Mr. Blaine at K-Wad. He's a brilliant man.
God damn it, I'm not going with you. I want to stay here.
Huh? I thought you wanted to leave.
Oh, wait, who am I again?
You're Stan.
Oh, yeah. God damn it. Hold on a second.
See, yeah, even as a massive fan of the show, I was getting lost. Thank you, Stan. Stan manages to leave, but Kyle is still brainwashed by Blaine's teachings to the point that he even heads to the streets to convince people to go to his next magic show.
Oh, come on. It'll make you a happy person.
Hey, I'm happy.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
All right, 2 tickets.
I mean, how can you beat tactics like that? Stan heads to the one person he knows who can also perform miracles, Jesus himself.
Behold, here you can see ordinary water. Okay, now turn around. Turn around. Okay, now turn back. It is now wine.
Hey, I mean, with the town of South Park, I feel like 70% of folks would buy it. And sure enough, after David Blaine eats his own head and brings it back, Jesus arrives to perform a miracle of his own.
Behold, I have here 5 loaves of bread and 3 fish. Certainly not enough to feed this entire crowd. But now, turn around. Okay, turn around. Okay, now turn back.
Now, how the hell did he do that?
See, someone bought it, I told you! Even still, David Blaine outperforms the Son of God, and so he calls up Buddha to alert the super best friends. I'll explain that soon. Meanwhile, David Blaine's application for tax-exempt status on Blaintology was denied, so to protest, all of his followers... I actually can't say that on YouTube, actually. The followers all plan to
march into Washington and demand our right for tax-exempt status by committing a...
Did you hear that, guys? We're finally gonna...
Yeah, lovely. Finally, Stan and Jesus reach the Hall of the Super Best Friends, where we get a rundown of all the members.
Buddha, with the powers of invisibility. Muhammad, the Muslim prophet with the powers of flame. Krishna, the Hindu deity. Joseph Smith, the Mormon prophet. Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism. And Seaman.
Seaman, huh? What a peculiar name. Hey, wait a minute! Muhammad? Weren't they not able to broadcast him earlier? Why is he perfectly visible here? I guess nobody cared then. Okay, yeah, sure enough, though, you can't find this episode anymore now just because of his appearance here. Anywho, Kyle and Cartman finally have some sense snapped into them.
I think it's going too far. I mean, it's gonna make my family really sad.
I don't want it. I haven't even gotten my pubes yet.
Or at least it seems that way, as after Cartman tells Kyle they should at least sleep on the idea, Kyle wakes up in a snow globe jail-looking thing. Cartman snitched. Shocker. The super best friends find out about Blaine's plan to commit mass, not happiness, and arrive just as the protest begins.
Face down until you... as such.
Next!
Unfortunately, Stan arrives a little too late to save Kenny.
Kenny! You! Kyle? Oh my god, Kenny! You...
Though, yeah, thanks to the power of catchphrases, there's still time for Kyle. David Blaine takes control of the Lincoln Memorial and starts rampaging, forcing the best friends to take action.
We've got to stop that oversized Abraham Lincoln. Muhammad.
Well, there's more reason to be mad about Muhammad's depiction. The guy gets slapped right out of the sky! To stop Giant Stone Lincoln, the best friends create a giant stone John Wilkes Booth, and surprise, surprise... it works. Though David Blaine manages to sneak away.
Then I guess you win this time, super best fools. But I'll be back. God damn it!
It's all right. Everything is as it should be. Oh, shut up, Buddha.
Stan tells the cult members that they've been mistreated, and that the best thing to do is to take a little something from all religions to better yourself, just like the super best friends.
You're my super best friend.
You're my super best friend too, Kyle.
Oh, that's so sweet, you guys. You want to go get a room so you can make out for a while? Ow! Oh, Jesus, what was that for? Ow! Ow, stop it!
Cartman had it coming for snitching, man. We're going from Washington to China in the episode fittingly named Banned in China. That's spelled B-A-N-D, by the way. Why would you think it was spelled any other way?
Us Chinese people have always liked things the old-fashioned way. We like things a little simpler, a little quieter. And now, there's a new...
Fair enough. Randy, who at this point is in his Tegrity Farms phase, has a brilliant idea to expand his business.
We could grow the family business by selling Tegrity to the Chinese. Turns out there's a lot of people in China.
That's some good research. Though maybe Randy should have looked up if is even legal in China. It isn't. Stan's a bit too preoccupied with his band antics, though, to care, as he's just finished writing a song about his experience living out on a farm. I kind of feel like Stan would like the Beatles or some alt band, so we'll probably get something nice and smooth. Okay, jeez, never mind. How do elementary schoolers even get their voices that low? My voice isn't that low. Randy's already got himself a plane ticket to head to China, but he's a little pissed that he's not the only one who wants to expand his business into the country.
Who else wants to go to China and get some of their money? Oh, for crying out loud. I'm sure there's plenty of Chinese people for all of us.
That phrasing is just, man, forget it, it's Randy. When he gets to customs, things take a turn for the predictable.
Jai Shi Dama Tegrity. Oh, hey, everything all right? What's going on?
Again, he really should have just done more research than Googling, do a lot of people live in China? Back in South Park, the boys are getting a biopic made about their band, but the producer needs to make sure that they don't bring up anything that could get the film banned in China.
You gotta lower your ideals of freedom if you want to suck on the warm teat of China.
Yes, that iconic phrase I hear every day. Randy is sent to prison, where he sees the gruesome reality of convicted life in China. Forced labor, low bathroom standards, but worst of all...
Hello there.
Oh, who's there?
Nobody. Just a bear.
They got Pooh Bear, no! Also, yeah, Winnie the Pooh was banned in China because people kept comparing the president to him. I'll let you decide if there's a visual similarity or not. Randy finally gets to plea his case in Chinese court and is truly representing America in a good light.
You got Winnie the Pooh and Piglet in jail? Now come on, China! A country ain't nothing unless it's got decency and integrity.
And of course, being an American, Randy's got to sprinkle his business on top of everything, offering his farm's assistance and bringing a little integrity to China. After Randy's outburst, Mickey Mouse gets pissed that anyone would criticize China and starts chewing out his entire lineup of IPs.
You are a fat diabetic bear, and if the Chinese don't want you, then I don't either.
Poor Pooh Bear, really getting shafted this episode, man. Randy decides to stand up to Disney as well and tells them that while they've got all the connections, money, and characters in the world...
But there's one thing you don't have, and that's integrity.
Always gotta bring it back to the business. Meanwhile, Stan's band's biopic is having trouble with Chinese censors, and so the producer eventually sends him home to try and rewrite the movie, thankfully saying it has come from his heart. Maybe that means they've given up on keeping the thing China-friendly? Oh, for goodness sake, how long has that guy been in there? Despite both Mickey and Randy's pleas, China refuses to do business with either until the bear is taken out of the picture, and so they get to work. After sticking his hand in a literal honeypot, Pooh... well... Yeah, I don't think he's making it. Stan finally comes up with the latest draft for his movie, incorporating a fan-favorite song.
Bang, 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 bang. I'm gonna finger bang.
I mean, who can resist a bit of finger banging? Though halfway through his performance, Stan quickly realizes he's selling out while on set and decides to put an end to the production definitively.
Yeah, but I can't sell my soul like this. I want to get away from that farm. More than anything, but it's not worth living in a world where China controls my country's art. And anybody who would betray their ideals just to make money in China isn't worth a lick of spit.
Pretty scathing stuff, but also pretty fair. Randy, on the other hand...
Day of forced labor, we're getting beat for criticizing the government. We all could use a little time with some good old Rocky Mountain. All hail the Communist Party, and all hail Digger.
So, yeah, while you can still find this episode in the US pretty easily, you know where you won't find it? China. You know where you won't find any South Park content whatsoever anymore? China. You know who's still mad about Winnie the Pooh being compared to their country's leader? China. You know what episode we're talking about next? The China problem. Yeah, South Park's China problems didn't start with that episode. It actually started with the China problem. That's the name of the episode, by the way. Case in point.
So nice to see other Chinese people. We are Chinese people ourselves. Bing bong, bing bong. Ching chong, ching chong.
After having nightmares about China's Olympics opening ceremony, Cartman comes to the very reasonable conclusion that
There's 2 billion of them and their economy is getting better, and with their advances in technology, they're going to bring down America.
all that over some choreography? I mean, it's impressive choreography, I guess, but still. Cartman tries to recruit his friends to help him stop China from taking over the world, but Kyle kinda speaks for all of us when he says,
I'm not doing this. Kyle, you're supposed to tell Cartman he's being racist or something?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore, okay? I can't do this anymore.
Though actually, it wasn't Cartman's stupidity that caused Kyle to walk off. In reality, he's having trouble repressing a traumatic event. So traumatic, I can't say it on YouTube.
Our friend was Stan. He was and did nothing. There was nothing we could do, Kyle.
So, who was, discomforted? I guess that works. Thanks, YouTube. I'll tell you who. Indiana Jones. You heard me right. Apparently the boys saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as an act of assault on the character.
Why aliens? Aliens don't belong in an Indiana Jones movie. Come on, dude. There's nothing we can do. Why? Why? We can't help him now. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeesh, don't know how I feel about this one. Thankfully, Cartman manages to lighten the mood by recruiting Butters to his incredibly wholesome cause.
You and me, we're going to be the brave little boys who fought back, Butters. We are not letting them take over our country.
See? There was a rubber duck. Wholesome. Cartman and Butters head to P.F. Chang's to take the fight straight to China and disguise themselves to sneak in and learn their invasion plans.
Here, put these teeth in. And just say hello and please a lot. Oh, hello, please. Bing bong, ching chong.
Bing, bing. Hello, please.
Yeah, this episode's just freckin' rough in a whole lot of ways, man. They managed to get a table despite their tasteless outfits and begin to try and coerce the secret plans out of an unsuspecting Chinese family. Moving on. Stan tries to talk through the trauma with Jimmy, but realizes he still can't move on, remembering the atrocities that went down on the big screen in vivid detail.
Yeah. No.
Get his pants down. Get his pants down. He ain't going nowhere.
Maybe a little too much detail, honestly. I think we got the joke without needing that. Cartman and Butters are nearly escorted out of P.F. Chang's, but are not willing to give up on their mission, so they take things to the next level.
Butters, hold this gun on them. A gun? They're taking over our country, Butters. This is life or death now. Help me.
Oh, jeez.
Everyone get up and get over to that wall. Do it. Move.
You know, this is the second time in this video where Cartman just randomly pulls a gun out. How does he get his hands on firearms so easily at this age? It's South Park. One of their hostages starts to try and flee, thinking this is all ridiculous, but little does he know, it's about to get even more ridiculous.
Ow! Ah! Oh, dude, you shot him in the...
Never shoot a guy in the... It's against the rules of life, man! Elsewhere, the rest of the boys try setting up a case against Steven Spielberg and George Lucas for their crimes on Indiana Jones, but the lawyer wants nothing to do with it. Until he remembers how things went down that day in theaters. Oh no, they're gonna show more essay scenes, aren't they?
Well, well, Indiana Jones. You're looking nice.
Good, I get the point! I think we get the point! It's real graphic, stop! Back at P.F. Chang's, the police arrive to Cartman's relief as he thinks that they're gonna help end the Chinese invasion. But after seeing a Chinese cop on the force, Cartman realizes they've corrupted the system, and so he has Butters fire a warning shot.
Ow! 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 God damn it, Butters! What did I say about shooting guys in the...
How does he accidentally shoot guys in the twice? Maybe Butters isn't doing it by accident. The maniac.
What happened?
They tried to come in through the roof. They were going to take the gun.
Good, did you...
Oh, it stings. Oh.
Okay, no, he's definitely aiming for the at this point. Finally, Cartman can't put up with the popping anymore. And so he gives up on his scheme and walks out of P.F. Chang's. Elsewhere, after another assault vision involving squealing like a pig, the police get involved and head out to arrest Spielberg and Lucas, heading off to their mansion to take them into custody. When they arrive...
My God.
Hey, what the hell are you doing here? You got nothing on us? 700 million box office?
This is...
That's 4 of those scenes, by the way, if you're counting. I am. 4. in 22 minutes. The police at PF Chang's hear the news, and everyone, hostages and otherwise, rejoice that the directors have finally been put behind bars for their crimes, allowing Cartman and Butters to just walk away.
I'd rather us be Chinese than a nation of unethical dictators. You think about it.
At least Cartman learned something. Though apparently he may have learned too much, as he was perfectly fine with letting Japan take over the US in Chimpokemon.
Your plane will fly autopilot to Pearl Harbor. When you arrive, you will drop many bombs.
Pearl Harbor 2, Electric Boogaloo. This one was banned in Japan for obvious reasons. Cartman's watching his new favorite series, Chimpokemon, an obvious Pokemon parody, when a commercial comes on and gives him his calling.
Now you can collect them all. Furry cat, donkey trunk, penguin, shoe, lamb toy. Collect them all and you can become Royal Crown Chimpoko Master.
Royal Crown Chimpoko Master.
Valid reaction, Cartman. I'd want to be a Chimpokemon Master too. Cartman's mom takes him to the toy store where it seems his favorite Chimpokemon is out of stock. Though while there, the kids are exposed to a little subliminal messaging.
All the Chimpokemon, and you will have happy feelings.
I have to become Royal Crown Chimpoko Master.
Must collect Chimpokemon.
I mean, hey, I want happy feelings. I don't blame the kids. Kyle's a little late to the Chimpoko party, but thankfully the others fill him in.
The primary main objective is to destroy the evil power. Well, what's the evil power? Oh my god. The identity of the evil power won't be revealed until all Chimpokemon are collected by Royal Crown Chimpoko Master.
Actually, I don't think that filled him in much at all. I'm honestly more confused now than I was before. Kyle's dad gives him some cash to go buy Ike and himself some toys to fit in, but after hours, the toy store clerk realizes something's fishy about these new Japanese imports.
Down with America. I love you. Let's be best friends and destroy the capitalist American government.
What the hell is going on here?
The next day, Kyle heads over to Cartman's to play with the boys, but unfortunately, he didn't bring his special Chimpokemon game controller. See, the Chimpokemon dolls are so last week, and now the video game is all the rage.
So the video game gave Kenny a seizure. This game rules.
Nothing fishy here. What's weird about bombing a harbor? And of course, our doubts are only further put to rest after the toy store guy meets with Emperor Hirohito and the head of the Chimpokemon company.
We cannot achieve much with so small, but you, Americans, wow, so big.
Well, I guess it is a pretty good size.
See, he has a big... So there's nothing to worry about. Stan's parents start watching the Chimpokemon TV show to ensure it's giving their son good moral values, but realize that it's a bit of a tricky question when it comes to the show.
Roosters aren't like Choo-Choo Nezumis. They haven't the heart for such endeavor.
I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I think you could make an argument that the show teaches loyalty, but other than that, yeah, no, I'm clueless. The parents of South Park are all becoming a bit concerned with the growing Chimpoko fad, and things only escalate when they hear of the company's new business endeavor.
One more day till the Chimpokemon camp.
Chimpokemon camp! I have to buy a ticket! I have to buy one a ticket! I got to buy!
Honestly, it's just a camp. How bad could it be?
What is the primary main objective?
To destroy the evil power.
The evil power is the United States government.
See, I said how bad could it be, but I feel like every time anyone ever says that phrase, things only end up bad. And I'm right! Chimpokemon Camp starts completely changing the students of South Park Elementary to the point where they even learn Japanese.
6 times 3.
18 desu ka?
18 da ne! No, goddammit, it's 18!
18 is 18, Garrison-san.
For the last time, my name is not Garrison-san, alright? And this is not Hat-san. And you all better start talking in a manner that I can understand.
Kinda impressive how quickly they picked up the new language. That's probably more knowledge from one camp than Mr. Garrison ever gave them in all of his classes. The town becomes swarmed in full-on outrage, but thankfully the mayor invited the emperor and head of the Chimpoko company to help cool the temperatures a bit.
What can we possibly do with such small? We cannot take over your city filled with men of such mastodonic.
Well, he's got a point there.
Well, I guess that settles that.
Well, I mean, at least the men seem content with that. The women in South Park decide to work on some new toys to try and get the kids interested in a new fad. But their toys just don't reach the Chimpoko standard, to say the least.
You can't ride it, wild wacky action day!
The kids are effectively turned into a Japanese marching military, and after the leaders again use their based red herring.
Can't you see what's happening? They're just using that talk to distract you.
Misenasai.
Oh.
Oh no. He really does have a small... All hope is lost! Well, not really, as the adults finally figure out how to get their kids off the Chimpokemon bandwagon.
We love Chimpokemon too. It's super toy #1.
Come on, Eric. Let's try to battle your Roostor with my Donkeytron.
Yep, when your parents are into something, you know it's not cool. And so the Japanese Emperor's plan to once again bomb Pearl Harbor is put to rest, though Kyle's still needing some convincing to not follow the group mentality.
So now I should stop liking Chimpokemon because you all don't? Yeah. But if I stop now, I'd just be going with the group again. So to be an individual, I have to bomb Pearl Harbor. See ya. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm confused too. I think we should just try not to bomb anyone. Personally, that's the message I'm taking away.
What the?
Oh, and to always send your friend to the doctor if they have a seizure. But, guys, enough beating around the bush, okay? You came here for controversial episodes, okay? I get it, all right? Get off my back. How about the most controversial episodes of them all right now? You want to see them? You want to know them? 200 and 201. Because when it comes to ban-worthy content, it's like every scene in this two-parter includes something that could take it off the airwaves. See what I mean? The boys are on a field trip learning some invaluable information.
Hey guys, check it out. Tom Cruise is a fudge packer.
What did you call me?
Oh boy! As you know now, South Park has already narrowly dodged some legal troubles with Tom Cruise. For them to be poking the bear again this early on is just a taste of what's to come. Anyway, despite man very clearly packing fudge, Tom Cruise keeps denying the boys' claims and eventually decides to sue the entire town. And he's not alone.
Shockingly, I've just been slandered once again in the town of South Park.
It seems every celebrity South Park has ever poked fun at is eager to get back at the town for their misdeeds.
That town thinks they can say whatever they want about people and get away with it.
If anybody has a gripe against that, it's me.
Even if their criticism was, kind of valid. Back at school, Stan is called to the principal's office where he learns that a guild of over 200 celebrities have put together a full-on class action lawsuit. All because he called out Tom Cruise on his actions.
Damn it, Marsh, why couldn't you have just kept your stupid, ugly kid in line? Hey, don't start blaming me for his looks.
Wait a minute, is Randy implying he's not Stan's biological father, or is he just dumb? I mean, it's Randy, so it could be both. With the entire town of South Park in jeopardy, Randy and Stan try to apologize to Mr. Cruise and see if they can't stop the lawsuit. While Cruise won't budge for a simple apology, he'd let things go if they can get one person to show up in town.
Sure, who is it? We can get anybody for you. Muhammad.
Ooh.
That's tricky.
And yeah, I'm with Stan. This is not going to end well. So yeah, the town has to get Muhammad to show up. Again! We all know how that went in Cartoon Wars. Though after a town hall meeting, the citygoers at least have an idea on how to find him, as Stan met Muhammad during his days as part of the Super Best Friends, and knows what he looks like.
Muhammad showed up and there was no violence at all.
Well, giant John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln.
That's enough. Jesus. Can't learn to shut up, can you?
Father of the Year award goes to not Randy, and neither does Artist of the Year.
I've done a lot of research and I've completed a sketch. No, don't!
Though, honestly, it might be better that he sucks at drawing in this instance. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise reveals his master plan to the rest of his celebrity friends to harness Muhammad's power of being impervious to ridicule and use it on themselves.
Imagine it, Tim. Nobody could rip on you for all the rehash movies you've made lately. There'd never be a TV show that pointed out you haven't had an original thought since Beetlejuice. And you put Johnny Depp in the same crappy music in every film.
I mean, hey, I thought Corpse Bride was all right, but... Anyway, the cherry on top of this heinous sundae is the case managed to pull in one more celebrity accuser as well.
I didn't come for myself. I'm just an escort for another celebrity who wants to get in on your lawsuit.
Yep, Cartman's hand is Jennifer Lopez in the South Park universe. If you don't think about it, it makes perfect sense. Carl and Stan head to the Hall of the Super Best Friends to see if they can get Muhammad to visit South Park, but Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism, of course, tells them that they can't just have religious holy figures doing who knows what in public spaces.
Boys, you need to understand that people get very offended because he's a religious figure.
Buddha, don't you in front of kids?
Moving along, the kids and the best friends eventually settle that Muhammad could at least travel to South Park in the back of a windowless van. All the while, the celebrities have created their device to drain Muhammad of his powers.
Rob Reiner has been telling me about the goo which is inside every person on Earth.
Any goo can be harvested from a person's body and easily placed into another.
I sure hope he understands how that sounds out of context. On the bright side, the Prophet Muhammad has finally arrived in the humble town of South Park.
Thank you so much for coming, Muhammad.
welcome. And in style. But the town realizes they'll need a way to transport Muhammad to Tom Cruise's limo without uncovering even a teensy bit of the guy. And after brainstorming, they've got it.
How about like a big mascot outfit? One that covered him completely, head to toe, not even showing his eyes.
Muhammad, would that be okay?
Okay. It's genius! The deal is ready to go, bear suit and all. Though at the last minute, a threat is sent in, warning the town not to turn over Muhammad.
It's just a stupid threat. Come on, we don't want to piss off Tom Cruise again.
All right, we got him, Tom.
Turns out the threat is real, and the folks of South Park have to hand over the holy figure to an entirely different group or risk their town being obliterated. Who are these people, though?
Our time is near. Soon Ginger will be made fun of again.
Gingers! I should have known! Speaking of gingers, the ultimate ginger hater himself, Cartman, is having a fallout with Jennifer Lopez, who is in reality secretly a wanted criminal swindler named Mitch Connor. Again, don't question it. Connor wants to sell Muhammad to buyers to make off with tons of cash, but Cartman tells him,
Find yourself another partner, then I guess I won't tell you about your father. My father?
The deal to reveal his father's true identity is enough to drag Cartman back in, while elsewhere, the deal the boys had with Jesus is going down the drain.
We can't hand him over to the Gingers.
But our homes and lives are at stake.
We made a promise to Jesus.
Stan, Jesus doesn't matter when Muhammad is involved.
Yeah, that one ought to fly well with the Christian viewers. When Randy tells the celebrities that the Gingers' violence is forcing their hand, Tom Cruise realizes they need to resort to violence as well, but can't do it personally as it'll ruin all their careers. Luckily, they've got an ace up their sleeve.
There she is, Tom. Barbra Streisand.
May God have mercy on us all. Or I guess God's in this case. There's a lot of them here with the super best friends and all. Finally, everything comes to a head. Cartman heads to Mr. Garrison's to find the identity of his father. Mecha Streisand is ready to tear the city apart, and the Gingers are demanding to prove Muhammad is truly in the bear costume. Meaning, yeah, the undepictable has got to be depicted. Yeah, so on to 201, and the stakes are as high as ever.
Buddha, will you lay off that stuff already? It's getting to be a problem.
Oh, and you're one to talk with all your internet watching isn't like doing.
They're begging for mercy, dude. The Gingers finally get their wish as Randy unveils the man beneath the bear costume. And...
Okay, so, see, Muhammad.
Oh, yep, that sure is Muhammad. The boys switched out the prophet with Santa as they had to keep their deal with Jesus to keep him in the U-Haul. And so, that is never a sentence I thought I'd ever say in my life, by the way. And so it seems that nobody is happy. Especially Barbra Streisand, who starts wrecking everything in typical Kaiju fashion.
My name is Pip. I would like to see if you wouldn't mind not smashing our little town to bits.
She even... Pip! You best! Actually, nobody really liked Pip. The boys rush out to find Kenny, who secretly had Muhammad safely stored away, and sure enough...
Kenny, dude, what the hell? You're supposed to be watching Muhammad.
Yep, the censors wouldn't budge. What's new? Anywho, Mecha Streisand is still wreaking havoc, but a certain group of heroes arrive that gives new meaning to Mr. Slaves' iconic catchphrase, literal meaning.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
That's enough, Barbra Streisand!
I mean, I know he's all-knowing and stuff, but what did Jesus expect there?
Look out! Barbra Streisand's using her toxic stink ray!
For goodness sake, low blow there, writing team. The boys take Muhammad to Dr. Mephisto to be cloned. That way, both the celebrities and the Gingers can have his power. But Cartman's already busy asking the mad scientist for the truth about his father.
Dude, nobody gives a crap about who your stupid father is. Muhammad is an important issue with actual ethical ramifications.
I guarantee you, people care way more about who my father is.
The boy's face says it all there. The Gingers eventually storm the lab and take everyone hostage before offering to share Muhammad with the celebrities. As for the others' fates, the head Ginger has something planned for them, especially Cartman. Who's the head Ginger, though? Do you need to ask?
Revenge is a dish best served chili.
Yeah, it's Scott Tenorman. You know, Scott Tenorman. The same Scott Tenorman that Cartman parents of and then tricked him into eating the form of chili. Yeah, that's Scott Tenorman. Meanwhile, the best friends finally find a way to calm down Barbra Streisand, a duet with Neil Diamond.
What do you say? Should we sing together again like the old times?
I mean, how could she resist? How could anyone resist?
Good night.
On second thought, I'll resist. The celebrities finally hook up Muhammad to their goo extraction machine, and Tom Cruise volunteers to be the first one to test the device. And dude, with that gag, it feels like the writers already knew they wouldn't be able to show off Muhammad, but they can get away with showing this.
Muhammad is our super best friend. Let him go.
They can't stop all of us. Get him!
Censors are weird, man. I bet you're wondering how the Scott Tenderman thing is going, by the way. Well, Scott and Eric have something in common. Their dads both played for the Denver Broncos. That's right.
You, your own father, fed him to your half-brother.
Only Cartman could have such ironic punishments. All right, back to the Muhammad stuff. It's an all-out war between gingers, celebrities, and the town of South Park with the super best friends, including Seaman. Yep, I had to say his name.
I'll get you, Tom Cruise.
Hey, look, Tom Cruise has semen on his back.
I guess maybe Tom Cruise likes semen.
Also, of course Tom Cruise is made fun of despite Muhammad's goo powers. I hate saying goo. However, this raises the question, what's going on here if the goo isn't working?
Throughout this whole ordeal, we've all wanted to show things weren't allowed to show. It was because of the magical power threatening people with violence.
You know, it's not a very good message to send, but it's realistic.
If you don't want to be made fun of anymore, you need our guns and bombs.
That's right, friends. Instill fear and be willing to hurt people.
So this very clear criticism of networks giving into the demands of didn't quite make the airwaves and only recently got leaked, so congrats! You've just seen the most heavily banned scene in series history. Off the back of all that, the boys find Cartman crying over the heavy stuff that he just had revealed to him.
Don't you guys realize what that means? My dad was a ginger!
So Cartman learns that he his own dad, but that's what he's hung up on? This kid is insane. And that talking hand gimmick is only the tip of the iceberg, by the way. So to put this whole cluster flub of a disaster behind them for good, the boys help Tom Cruise find a place where nobody is around to bully him. Yeah, I mean, there's pretty much gonna never be like more than a couple of people there every decade, so mission accomplished. Don't ask about the orca. Hope you all enjoyed, and be sure to subscribe to not miss our next video. Peace!